Hey guys, I wanted to talk about what you should be doing now that we are in late wipe. In theory, according to Tarkov TV, we are getting a wipe here sometime around New Year's. So, what should you be doing now that we are this late into the wipe? You probably have most of the goals that you've gone for this wipe accomplished, or you really haven't had enough time to finish them. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of lower level players, which means that people are either resetting their account to start the grind over again, or we have a lot of newer players that are coming in either due to Tarkov TV or they possibly have seen it on Twitch and the game went on sale and they were able to pick it up. If you've been playing Tarkov for a few wipes, you kind of know what you're doing at this point. It's late wipe, you've gone through, you've accomplished your quests, and now you're trying to not burn out by continuing to play when we've only got about 30-ish days until the wipe resets. The other player group that I'm running into fairly often are the fully kitted out Chads. Largely, I've been running into these on a factory where I'm going through and I'm just trying to kill some PMCs or some scavs, trying to blow off steam at the end of a work shift. And I run into PMCs that are wearing full Zabralo Altons and kitted out AKMs. While not the most fun thing to run into on factory, it isn't the scariest. Tagilla running up on you in a dark hallway when you're just slowly moving around, arguably scarier. But if you're new to Tarkov and you're not really sure what to do with the limited time that you have left, I have a few recommendations and I kind of wanted to put out a video of that. So I've got some gameplay of some different things that I'm practicing here at the late wipe. The first one being more night raids. I haven't done very many night raids this wipe. I usually do them a lot. And more factory raids. I hate going into factory normally, but you need to go in for a fair amount of quests. So doing a lot of practices on areas that you normally struggle is not a bad idea. For late wipe, I use a lot of this time to try out new gun builds that I normally don't use or don't want to risk the rubles on during the early and mid wipe where I need to kind of conserve rubles for hideout upgrades and stuff like that. Since we're at the end of wipe, I can go ahead and build the meta M4 if I really want to. I can go through and just play with shotguns if I really want to. Gear fear is not really an issue when you get this late into the wipe because it only matters for, about a month. Trying new tactics. If you don't normally rat, try it. I just did it here in this clip to this poor lower level PMC, but I also been slacking on my Punisher quests, and this got me my final kill that I needed for that. Ideally, at this point in a wipe, you should start planning what you're going to be doing for next wipe. This next wipe, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, if I'm going to put any special rules or limitations on myself. I spent most of this wipe using bolt action only. I ended up dropping that when I found out that there was a bunch of changes to things like Tarkov Shooter and the Shooter Born in Heaven quest lines. They also reworked when you get the 338 bolt action rifle. You now have to kill Sturman with the M700 to unlock that at Jaeger level 4. I didn't realize that they had changed that till way late, and it kind of irritated me. But, that all being said, this is the time of wipe to try out new things. One of the things I actually tried out here, and you can tell my movement's a little funky in this clip, I have recently changed some of my sound and my EQ settings. What I didn't realize is I had actually reversed the sound. So I was hearing sound coming from my left when it was really coming from my right. There was one point a few seconds ago where I was staring at a wall. It's because I kept hearing gunshots coming from the wall, and it was confusing me. So experiment. That's really the best thing you can do for the wipe at this given moment. Experiment with new builds. Experiment on maps you might not normally go to. If you're like me, you haven't spent a lot of time on Lighthouse or Streets. Streets is largely because of a performance issue. Lighthouse because there's no real quests or anything like that that you need to focus on. But I've been running more Lighthouse quests because I want to learn the map better and be better about moving through it. One of the things I always struggle with is also just getting down into the bunker on reserve and killing raiders. I normally don't do that a whole ton, but I wanted to focus on that a few raids here now that we're in late wipe. I didn't expect a 4-man team to spawn right next to me, but they did. So I decided to book it down into the bunker. That 4-man never actually showed up down there, but as you'll see here further on, I was able to get some raider kills. So now when I get the quest from Prapper next wipe, I have a bit more knowledge of how to approach killing them with maybe not a meta kit. Right now I'm using a PP19 with AP6. If I was going in with a PP19 and PST or maybe even PSO, because I got headshots, I might actually be able to do that earlier in the wipe than I did this wipe. If you're normally a person that goes through and tries to be very aggressive and, you know, kind of being that Chad archetype, I recommend using this part of the wipe to try a slower gameplay style. You don't necessarily have to rat, but it's something to try out, because at the very least it's going to give you information on how rats will kill you. If you're someone that's staunchly a rat, use this time to be more aggressive. Learn how to push those corners and take advantage of people that are trying to hold a left-hand peek rather than the right-hand peek. This is the perfect opportunity to learn. If you're a person like me where I kind of do a blend, sometimes I play really aggressive, sometimes I do this slower style of play. It's a great time to just kind of go buck wild with it all. You know, throw on no armor and a shotgun. Use dirty bait tactics to try to get your kills. I actually have to convert what I'm doing here in this very clip because someone crept up on me that I didn't hear. This is also a perfect opportunity to start running your scav more often if you don't run scavs normally. I run into a player scav here, and I can already tell he's not used to coming down to the bunker a whole ton. Right now, the best thing you can do is plan how you want the next wipe to go. Either start off nice and slow, being methodical, taking your time and finishing your tasks, or being hyper aggressive. Ideally, you start thinking about that right now. As an example, currently right now, I already have my routes planned out for when I start the next wipe. We're getting things like gas analyzers, USB sticks, all the stuff that normally people complain about. I already have that planned out. My routes are ready to go. As long as nothing on the loot tables changes in a huge amount, I should be set within the first few days of the wipe for gas analyzers and the USB thumb drives. I do have a few videos about those put up. I'll pin them up here in a second, and then you guys can go and see the route that I use. We'll probably run into each other at some point in time on those routes. Start thinking about if there's any specific traders that you want to interact solely with. One of the things Nikita has said about in the past, and I'm not sure if he's going to keep it or not, is that he wants there to be a point of no return with traders. So if you do a lot of work exclusively with therapist and you upset skier, skier may stop working with you entirely. Now that hasn't been implemented, and it's been about 2 wipes since Nikita has actually said that, so I'm not sure if he's going to follow through with it. We'll have to play the wait and see game. But it's still a good idea if you want to focus on specific traders to start looking at their quest lines and the things that you need to accomplish for them. For example, this wipe, I focused very heavily on Jaeger because of the fact that I was doing bolt actions for most of the early wipe. A friend of mine, he focused more solely on Prapper. This is the first wipe that he finished the Punisher questline, and he realized how powerful that final case is that you get for completing the Punisher questline when you don't have an EOD account. Each trader has quest lines that you have to kind of focus on if you want to complete them in a timely manner. I focused on Tarkov Shooter this wipe. Next wipe I'll probably focus back more on the Punisher quest line just because of how powerful that secure container you get for finishing it is. One of my other friends focuses heavily on therapist quests early, so that way he can get the injector case as soon as possible, because having 9 slots to put injectors in is extremely powerful, whether that be propofol, morphine, adrenaline, or even Zagustin to help you, patch up those bleeds. I want to thank you guys all for watching. If there's any fun plans you're planning for next wipe, leave them in the comments down below. Hit the like button and subscribe so you get notifications when I put out more videos. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.